Hi muckers, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I hope you're all doing very well. Okay, I am just back from Munich. I have literally just got back to Brighton. I landed maybe an hour ago into London and I came right down here. I'm going to Taylor Swift tomorrow. I'm very excited, but by the way, Adele was amazing, and if you're not subscribed to the YouTube channel, please consider subscribing. 67% of people here are watching are not normally subscribed, or whatever the word is. I'm so tired. Anyways, I made a promise. And the promise I made to the muckers was that it was top on my priority list to do the part 2 to the Dog Pack series we've been doing, which is this YouTuber Dog Pack who used to work for mrbeast is currently exposing mrbeast. We did part 1, then I went to Munich, and I didn't do part 2. So, I'm back. Part 2 is a priority, and we are going to get to this immediately. Now, part 2, which is this one, is called I Worked for mrbeast, He's a Sociopath. Oh, I'm just getting the throwbacks of Katie Morton. Boo. Boo. Tomatoes in the chat for Katie Morton. Anyways, so this one is featuring Jake Weddle, I think it is. Weddle. Weddle. Weedle? No, Weddle. Because that would be Weed. Jake Weddle, who also used to work for mrbeast, and they basically came together to do this interview, and this is the one that people were like, is really intense. Obviously, the first part was, you know, Dog Pack exposing the fakeness of mrbeast videos and everything in between. It was a really intense watch, and basically just showed mrbeast up for being the fraud that he is, and that was literally the title of it. It was along the lines of, like, I worked for mrbeast, he's a fraud, and after watching it, that is immediately where your mind goes. It's like, oh my god, this guy is the biggest fraud of all time. So this one being Sociopath, I'm like, alright. Now, let's get to it. Alright, so the description says, he's a sociopath is my opinion based on the Cambridge Dictionary definition of a sociopath. A person who is completely unable or unwilling to behave in a way that is acceptable to society. He's a sociopath in no way should be interpreted as a medical diagnosis or a statement of fact. This video is for educational purposes only. Alright, if y'all are ready, I am ready. I have been waiting for this one, and let's get into it.
Alright, jokes for food. I wish a philanthropist YouTuber would just give me 10K and not film it. Hey, what the hell happened to you? mrbeast, that's what happened to me.
What we do here is go back.
Not these beginnings. Oh my god. Because mrbeast isn't doing anything good unless he's recording it.
And again, so just before I get into my interrogation with former mrbeast employee Jake Weddle, a lot has happened since my last video. After posting it, I got hundreds of messages from former mrbeast employees, and I had them all like send proof of former employment. You know, just people showing their support or telling their stories of you know, fake videos or unsafe practices, you know, toxic workplace, stuff like that. I'm not really gonna get into those claims because, for one, like, most people want to stay anonymous, which I understand. And also, like, I think most of that stuff's just been covered with you know, the news coming out about Beast Games and everything. And also I have, like, more serious allegations that I want to start covering. Also, I heard from a very credible...
You know what is really crazy, though? Just, like, how many employees have been waiting to speak out, which just goes to show how bad of a workplace environment this is, which is so ironic because in the document of the Rosanna Pansino video that we watched, by the way, I think I'm going to be filming with her this weekend, so if anyone has any questions they want me to ask her in regards to mrbeast, or in general, comment them down below, and I will see them and make sure to ask her if we end up doing that video this weekend. But it's crazy just how many mrbeast employees have been waiting for the chance to speak out and the opportunity to speak out. And obviously he's this big, scary figure to speak out against. So it's kind of like this domino effect of these major players speaking out and kind of allowing it to be a safer space to speak out. But it goes to show that the document that Rosanna Pansino read out, which is like, we're the best company in America to work for, like, you'll never find a better employer than me, is just straight up BS, which we're already aware that it is, but like, just like, how do you do this many employees that badly?
Of course, that mrbeast has been sitting on a response to part 1 because he was worried if he posted it, I would instantly respond with part 2. You know, like this is Kids Bop, Kendrick Lamar versus Drake. Also, I know mrbeast's secret CEO has been practically like harassing my people on, you know, hey, what's in part 2? What does he know? So I will just tell you, James, what will be in part 3, so you don't have to harass my people. It will be about serious allegations of sexual misconduct in the company and your direct involvement in covering up those crimes. And I'll make sure to give you full credit and plaster your face all over the screen when we talk about that. So yeah, I've gotten dozens of messages from former...
Whoa, 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 whoa. Okay, so this is... It has to get crazier, you know, for things to come to a head. Like, it's just going to get more and more crazy. The fact that MrBeast people are... And obviously, I have to say, allegedly behind the scenes, you know, trying to figure out what's going to be in the next part. I didn't even know there was going to be a part 3. This is me finding it out right now. I mean, I can't wait to see what gets exposed because I think it's so important to get exposed. And I mean, top, you know, to any creator who is speaking out right now. But it just is so slimy, isn't it? That, like, MrBeast and his team will not release a public statement, but they will be watching every single movement that anyone does speaking out against them. It's pathetic. It's pathetic.
Employees of very serious allegations. So I just want to put a call to action at the start of this video that, you know, if you have a story, you can DM me. Just make sure you send proof of employment first because I get a lot of DMs. And, like, as much as I meme and joke around, like, I take anonymity very seriously. So without explicit permission, I don't go public with anything. And obviously, if it goes to court, I would hope they would censor your information from the court documents. I don't know. Oh, and former contestants, too. That's another thing I heard after posting my last video is during the 100 boys versus girls video, I have people corroborating the same story that the camera guy who gave the girls a drone was making some girls feel uncomfortable.
Dude, the amount of people that are, like, coming out of the woodworks to confirm stories, like, there is only so much that MrBeast can hide from this. Like, I'm gonna be honest, like, obviously, he's, like, the most protected creator of all time and stuff, but when you have this many people with this many bad stories about you that all can kind of relate to each other, you're fucked. You're absolutely fucked.
Girls in a circle and make them sleep on rough turf and get them high on paint fumes, and then you try to f them.
Okay, then.
And also, I looked at MrBeast's recent video, and it has over 2 million dislikes, so even the general public are turning on him, which I didn't think was going to happen.
Anyway, so that will be part 3. So, you know, MrBeast, do with that information what you will. I know Chucky didn't want to respond to those allegations. So anyway, my interview with Jake Weddle, I chose to interview him because I thought he was perfect because he was both on camera and behind the scenes in 2019 and 2020. And also, what people don't know is that he came back in 2021 to be the sole contestant of a MrBeast video, which never got uploaded because it went very badly. He also knows about it.
A sole contestant? Like, just one person? Okay, we know how MrBeast treats multiple people, thousands of people, but having that attention on one person to basically perform for the video? I mean, no wonder the video hasn't gotten out, but what the fuck happened?
Document format who was working at MrBeast while actually on the registry, and I'll get more into that story at the end of the video. So I got his DM.
What? Did he just say someone's working at MrBeast who's, like, on the registry and a PDF file was online, like, alluding to a pedophile? What is going on? Oh my god, and why is it taking so long for all these stories to come out? Like, great that they are, but, like, oh my god, it's so scary that, like, this is the person on the top of the platform.
Overnight, did not sleep, just drank a bunch of caffeine, and I also only had one microphone in the interview, which he's wearing. So it's mostly just him talking. Also, like, final thing, people said my last video started slow. This video also starts slow. You know, it builds up over time, but I'll do the retention thing and say, the ending will blow your mind. It's crazy. Yeah. Okay. Jake Weddle, everybody.
I'm Jake Weddle. Most people who, if you know me from MrBeast, I'm a deep cut. I'm in a few of the videos, sometimes maybe purposefully kept in the shadows a little bit. I'm in the cutting room floor a lot of the time. But I've been in some videos. I've worked on a lot of them. I was there from 2019 to 2020, 2021-ish when I came back and did some more. I was there when they were authentic, and then I saw the transition to what I feel like is a company. He's like a TV show now.
Okay, so 2019 was whenever Jake started being in the videos or working on the videos. And it's very interesting what he says there about he witnessed the videos go from authentic to kind of like a brand, which I think from an outsider's point of view we can see. So I can't even imagine being a part of it and witnessing that transition.
You went from YouTuber guy with a camera to Amazon. The culture around there was very unspoken, but there was a vibe. There was half the people who, if you made Jimmy happy, you were on the good half. And these people got random bonuses. And
this is what we're hearing about the A people. Relating back to the previous video about Rosanna where she went through the document, he had literally written like my A employees, my B employees, my C employees, ranking them, and A's were his favorite, which is obviously this about getting bonuses and stuff. When you're setting a workplace environment where you already have your favorites, it is such a slippery fucking dangerous slope, and it should never be a thing. So the fact it's so normalized, of course all of your B players and C players were eventually gonna fucking expose your ass. What is this?
Were usually moved up, had more screen time, and then there was people who, if you had a disagreement or butt heads with Jimmy, or just you didn't like it, you know, you were in the other half. And I consistently was in the half that Jimmy didn't like me. That's fine. I don't like him either. It's okay. Oh, I feel so good to say. I don't like Jimmy. I hate you so much. He didn't want anyone to get more popular or have more of a way out necessarily. Like, oh, I'm doing my Twitch thing on the side. Don't do that because you could get famous and leave and talk about me negatively. And I could tell that the yes...
Isn't it so funny that the nastiest people you've ever met are always preemptively assuming that someone is going to do them bad or expose them? There we have Jimmy being like... Jimmy Donaldson, the craziest name ever, by the way. We have Jimmy Donaldson being like, you can't do projects outside of Mr. Beast because what if you get popular? Which would then mean that you would have a platform to be able to talk bad about me. Well, Jimmy Donaldson, Mr. Donaldson, your nightmare came true.
And we're, you know, doing well. And I was, you know, disgruntled for quite some time. So I've talked to reporters, right, like publicly. And I've always had to choose my words very, very carefully because I don't want to say anything I don't stand behind, obviously. So I used to talk to people. I used to glaze Jimmy publicly for things I do genuinely think are true. But then it's like, well, how come you didn't talk about the working conditions? Well, I wanted a career. I didn't want to, you know, speak ill of YouTube's golden boy and then I'm blacklisted forever. I tell people I was talking to you, and they go, "Don't, what are you doing? You're going to kill your career." It's like, I have to or I'll be sad. If this is the moment, we're going to talk about it. So as far as that, that's my covering of the why we didn't talk about XYZ sooner, but now you know.
Okay, so basically protecting him, but also protecting yourself because you need a job, you need money, you don't want to be blacklisted. And by the way, that is absolutely valid. The question of why did you not speak up sooner? Whenever we're talking about Mr. Beast, we're talking about the biggest, most beloved creator that even now, with the amount of employees that are speaking out, the amount of YouTubers, the amount of whatever, not everyone, but still a huge movement happening on YouTube right now. And still, the people speaking out are getting backlash. There are still people up Mr. Beast's ass. So don't ever bring this back to, well, why now? Why now? It's as safe as it has ever been to kind of go against the big boy, Jimmy Donaldson. So fuck off with that bullshit.
What would you say is the fakest video that you worked on while you were there?
Fakest video that I worked on while I was there. This is the extent of the fakeness that I was involved to. This is like admitting to my complicity. I was a writer there, and we were working on a video, crushing my friend's car with a rock or meteor or something. It was a rock or meteor in the title of it. I can't remember, but he wanted to do a prank where, unbeknownst to the person, he takes a rock, crushes their car, and they're supposed to think a rock came out of space.
We're gonna take a meteor and we're gonna put it on Weddle's car. We're gonna take another meteor and put it on Marcus's car. Both of them have no idea that we're doing this. Weddle and Marcus are.
But he doesn't fake videos, remember? He never fakes a video.
I love that voice I just did. Ooh, I love that. Ooh.
They shot. They had no idea.
And so that was the one and only time I had to, my car? What? And on the fly, I saw him, because Marcus was in that video. So Marcus is calling his mom. Marcus genuinely had no idea. He genuinely had no idea. But so Marcus is calling his mom, and his mom's freaking out. And I'm like, oh no, they're going to call my mom next. So I had to text my mom, who had to beg to get the title very quickly. Now I'm texting my mom, I go, Mom, I'm about to call you about the meteor thing. You have no idea? Be surprised. And then I hit send, and then they go, call your mom now. And I call my mom and I tell her, and oh, she should have got the Oscar. Oh my God, on the fly, she goes, what? I'm on vacation. Mom, my car has been destroyed.
Wait, what?
A meteor hit it.
Jacob, I'm on vacation. Do you understand?
Oh, give her her G's, give her her flyers. That was the performance. I feel like my mom would do this.
But yeah, I did that video, and they're supposed to give me 10K.
Oh my God, that was brilliant. But again, it's just so funny. This, like, Mr. Beast just promotes this. The videos have to be real, you guys. Like, they have to be real. They have to, you know, whatever. And it's just so great to hear an employee speak out that they were fake. It just really warms my heart. It really warms my heart.
To put a down payment on a new car, and they wanted me to get like a big flashy new car. 10K was supposed to be a down payment. And I can't afford a big flashy new car because I work at Mr. Beast. So I couldn't get anything I couldn't afford the taxes on. I couldn't get anything I couldn't afford the insurance on. So I do my part of the video, and I get a mom van that I could afford. And Jimmy was like, why didn't you get a cooler car? I was like, I can't afford that, bro. Come on, what are you talking about? You know, if I was working on a TV show in the 90s, on a show that was a quarter as successful, I could retire today. But now I make dog shit pay, making gajillionaires more money. And I just walked into the writer's room, and that's one of the reasons why I left, was because I just walked in there and asked for not necessarily a gajillion dollars, but maybe a salary that was more proportional to the work I was doing, given how much revenue that work was doing.
I think that's a really important part to think about whenever it comes to Mr. Beast paying his employees, specifically the ones that are on camera. Well, actually, no. The people behind the camera are equally as important as the people on camera. So take what I'm about to say very lightly, because it applies both ways and also doesn't apply at all. Okay, so here's my thing. The people that are on camera, you could have people watching Mr. Beast videos just because they like that one person. They might hate Mr. Beast, but they might love Jake. Therefore, there is people watching and giving Mr. Beast direct money because they enjoy Jake in the videos. Therefore, the videos are making hundreds of thousands of dollars. Therefore, the split should be the same as Jimmy Donaldson being on video because you're an active member of the video like face and the brand face. So if you're not getting a good proportion of the money per video that you're in that is doing multi-million dollars overall, like months and stuff, that is absolute bullshit. And to kind of make an employee feel bad for asking that is also bullshit. Now, going to the other point, the people behind the camera filming it and editing it are the ones that are being told in the little handbook, if you remember, if you're working on one video day, you fucking suck. You know what I mean? Like, everyone is overworked here. And ultimately, the money goes into the Mr. Beast company, and it should be given out better. And the fact that, like, we have employees of the biggest YouTube channel that is told to be the most generous man with his money, and they're all struggling, or they can't afford to live even a micro of the lifestyle that Jimmy does, even though they're equally as big a part of the brand. He's a greedy, greedy, greedy man. All of them are. All of them are. Like, there's no ethical billionaire, like there isn't. I'm looking around at the people behind me and I'm like, if any of y'all are millionaires, like even Mariah that I love, I mean, y'all aren't like, you do shady shit. Maybe to different extremes, but like still. Anyways.
And then, I talked about that, and I talked about the Writers Guild and how this is what Writers Guild industry standard is for the streaming internet content with ads. I thought that was the closest thing to YouTube, and I didn't even bring up residuals, because, oh my god, if I got residuals for every video I worked on, boy, howdy, I could retire. But, the other thing I talked about was that there was another writer there, older comic, black guy, he had a kid, and I got paid more than him, and I thought that was wild because he was older than me, had a child, we're doing the exact same job, and I'm some 20-year-old fucking white guy, I'm gonna get paid more than him. I brought that up. And one of the things I didn't like about the way some of the V stuff shook out was... I feel really guilty about the way this shook out. I was talking to this other writer, it's fucked up, that's how the pay is, and I want you to get paid more, because you deserve to get paid more. I don't have a kid. And he didn't want to rock the boat. He desperately didn't want to rock the boat. He says, I like my job. I like because when you grow up with nothing, not to say that he did, but I know I did. You get a little something, you don't want to lose it, so he didn't want to rock the boat. But he said, hey man, that's how you feel, I trust you. He stood with me. He went in that meeting with me, and I said my piece, and he backed me up. I said, I need X, Y, Z, or I'm out of here. And they said, bet, and they gave me a severance check the next day, and they gave him a severance check the next day. And if I knew he was going to lose his job too, I wouldn't have done it. Me, I was over the moon. I was like, you're going to give me a check and I get to leave? I don't get to deal with the how many Orbeez can I fit up my asshole every day? And I get to go home and you're going to pay me to leave. I was over the moon. And he was devastated. He did not want. I said, he just wanted to be in the room, And I really regret that. But, me and him are really still tight. We're still good friends. Is he doing good? Yeah, he's doing good. He's a good guy. I love that guy. He's doing good. Yeah.
So maybe you'll feel better?
Honestly, best thing I could have done for him. Now that he...
Oh, fuck me. Again, another clear example of not cherishing your workers. And if they ever ask for more, meaning what they're deserved, and they're just disposed of. It just goes to show how these people use people, and just again how unethical and just downright nasty of a person someone like Mr. Beast is. Damn. And the fact that Jake is taking the guilt of that guy being fired instead of realizing that it's actually not on him, because he was actually standing up for that guy who should have been getting more in that company, and then they both get fired. Like, fuck whoever made that decision. We don't know who, but fuck whoever that was.
He's very, very far removed from all this crazy shit, I guess.
Do you think Jimmy really enjoys doing good and helping people?
I think Jimmy wants to be the best YouTuber. I think he is laser focused on one goal. And I think whatever he has to do to achieve that goal, he'll do. And I think it was the smartest decision for him that he calculated, because he's very good with numbers. If I donate to charity, people can't say I'm shitty. If I give this homeless guy 10K, what do you mean I'm a bad guy? But I've always thought, if you're going to do something nice for somebody and you stick a camera in their face while you do it, that you didn't do a nice thing for somebody. You gained something. There was a homeless guy on the street and you saw an opportunity for yourself.
And again, it's like Mr. Beast sees vulnerable people in society, right? And gives them money. And then what does Mr. Beast get in return? 10 times more money than what he gave that person, and 10 times more fame. Mr. Beast, can you tell I'm tired? It's 3 a.m. Mr. Beast gives a homeless person $10,000. Great. What does Mr. Beast make on that video? More than $100,000 and millions of views and fans that love him and think he's the best person in the entire world. He is benefiting from that. So always think about that when you go, oh, he's so great.
In your image, and you gave one guy $10,000 who needed it to eat, and now the revenue you generated from that video is way more than what you gave. I think when he's generous on camera, it's the least authentic thing in the world. There's an element of, oh, hey, you're crying. That's so good for camera. I'm so glad if you're crying because you're so thankful that you got XYZ, and then you go, oh, I'm so glad he needed it that bad. So
Again, it's just exploiting vulnerable people. Like, that's what the content is. The content isn't good in any way. It is exploiting vulnerable people.
Could come in and, can you cry more? Oh, it's so good for the camera if you could. Oh, it made me uncomfortable when I was working there, and I didn't like it, and I vocalized it sometimes, and I think that's why I wasn't on camera as much as they said I was going to be. I was told at one point that I was going to be like fourth banana, it was going to be Jimmy, Chris, Chandler, me, and then that never happened. I remember talking about that, like, hey, I thought my contract said XYZ. And then I got the severance checks, so, whatever, all that regard.
So after your severance checks, how was your relationship with the company? I know you appeared in videos after that, right?
Right, so in videos where I was appearing in later, that's why you keep nice publicly. If you're nice in public, hey, Jake was nice in public, let's have him back for something, yeah, sure. So I was hoping they call back, and I appeared in some videos after I left. I think one of them was 3 days in a maximum security prison. If I did do mini challenges in that, I got paid. I was, clocked in with a rates, and I would get paid and compensated for those. But there was one video I was in, I got paid a lot for, but it didn't come out. It didn't come out because it didn't go well. There was a video that came out probably like a year ago, something like that. It got a lot of hot water when it came out. It was the surviving like $10,000 every day you survive in solitary, or surviving solitary for whatever. It was one of those solitary confinement videos that got a lot of media attention because everybody saw the premise and thought, what? You shouldn't do that. And people don't know that was the second attempt. The first attempt was on me, and it didn't go well. I was already planning on moving to New York, and I had worked at a couple of YouTube companies after Beast, and I had a little bit of change in my pocket. The most change I had in my pocket ever. Small potatoes, compared to Beast bullshit, but I thought I had enough to move to New York or whatever. And I get a call from somebody over there, and they go, "Hey, they want you for a video." I was like, "Oh, amazing, great, cool, thank God." What's the video? And they tell me the pitch. And they try to make the pitch sound like it's going to be like a walk in the park. The pitch is 100 days in solitary confinement.
100 days in solitary confinement. I like don't even have a comment for this shit. Like, at a certain stage, with all of this being so unregulated, why is this pushed so much on social media platforms? We're specifically seeing this with the Beast games as well. What needs to happen for this to be ended and or at a bare minimum regulated? Does someone need to die? Does someone need to go crazy? Does someone need to fucking sue? Like, what the fuck? 100 days in solitary. Oh, walk in the park. Fuck you, bitch.
But don't worry, like, you only have to last like 30. We have like a video.
You only need to last like 30? 100 days in solitary confinement. You only need to stay for a month, though. What the fuck?
So like at first it's gonna be like a luxury vacation. You're gonna have like a hot tub and an ice cream machine, and like part of the video is gonna be you deciding like what items am I gonna get rid of, you know, today? And it's like the choice. They were like, it's only gonna be bad for the last like 5 days tops when you have like nothing left. You're the first. It's gonna be like a breeze for most of it, and by the end of it, after 30 days, you're gonna get $300,000 because it's $10,000 a day. And I don't know, man. I grew up poor in North Carolina. I said, excuse me, I'll dance for you if you put the.
Again, it's just dangling money over people that are vulnerable and or people that just need money. Like, it's gross.
That kind of money in my face, sure. They were like, you're going to be locked in this room, and we got to make sure you're on all the time. We're going to have cameras on you all the time, and you're perfect for this because you never shut the fuck up. On paper, I was like, okay, I can do this. And they always cut me out of the videos. They always, and I was, editors have told me that it's because you have too much of a personality. And so with this video, I thought, this is perfect. It's a video they can't cut me out of. I'm the guy. And so I thought, well, if I have to do this, if I have to do solitary confinement in order to do the things I want to do, then I will do that. I held my tongue and I swallowed my pride and I tried to do one last ride. I get there. And at first it's fine. And I mean, they had just freshly painted the set. You can smell it, which that's probably not good, the smell of fresh paint in your surroundings for the next XYZ time. It looked good on the visual. Like, the kid looks good on camera. It's movie magic bullshit. It was a terrible facility. I mean, it was in one of the studios. They had to get a separate tank for septic stuff. Yeah, there was a hot tub in it. Yeah, there was an ice cream machine. Like, things were cool and funny on paper. But when you think about stuff, a hot tub that's not connected to a filtration system, give it 3 days, it's gonna stink. If there's not a hot water mechanism, so the hot tub was a lukewarm tub at best, which I was a silly complaint, but the shower was always cold. And you're taking a quick shower, and I had cameras 24/7 on me, and the ice cream machine. Let's talk about that for a second. The ice cream machine has 2 modes.
But I'm like, as well, you have to stay for 100 days. Sorry, 30 days. My bad. Oh my goodness, my bad. And your things are like,
ice cream machine, hot tub.
Like, great. That's exactly what I need for 100 days.
On, and off. Reeking of smelly dairy mildew, so I got to choose which sense was assaulted at a time. I couldn't have all of them good. So the little things started to build up. There was the bug thing wasn't terrible, but it was a factor. And at first it was fine, and you're playing it up because it's a video. And it got to a point where they weren't turning the lights off. I asked them, I said, can we have nighttime hours? And they said no because it would fuck up the time lapse shots. The time lapse of what? Me sleeping? I mean not sleeping? Yeah, I saw in other videos they did, oh, you're going to get XYZ hours of sunlight. Oh.
Again, it's almost like torture content. I don't think that's too extreme to say. There seems that within the Mr. Beast company, there is an enjoyment for torture content. And torture can literally be making someone so bored that they're going insane, or putting someone in a situation where their surroundings are so dirty that they're starting to get sick or start to hate it or whatever, where they have to beg you to turn the lights off.
Oh, great. Well, I don't know how they figured that one out. I didn't have it. One of the things was you got to take away your clock, so you didn't know what time it was. Okay, I got no access to sun. I got no access to clock. I don't know, the lights are on me all the time. I wasn't sleeping. I could not sleep, and I have insomnia problems now, but they might have started there. I had good people looking out for me. I had a lot of good people looking out for me saying, this, we gotta stop. So I just wanted to turn the lights off. And I'm vocalizing to people, I wish the lights would turn off. And I go up to my friend, my good friend. And I go,
Like, again, what would be enjoyable / funny about this content? You have someone literally pleading to just turn the lights off. They haven't seen sunlight in fucking days. Like, what, the kids watching Mr. Beast would be like, ha ha ha. Like, literally, you could fucking, you know those videos of, like, fruit and vegetables dancing on a screen, like the baby sensory toys? Like, you could put that in front of Mr. Beast's audience and they would find it equally as interesting. Like, why are you going to the extremes of having to torture someone?
I go, they're not turning the lights off. He goes, what? That's a war crime. We're not allowed to do that to terrorists. Oh!
Oh, wow. The United Nations consider sleep deprivation to be a form of a war crime.
Oh, good.
Because they define it as, like, torture because of sleep deprivation.
24 hours breaking the Geneva Convention, I guess, is what we're doing. So, you know, they're giving me, you know, melatonin, you know, it's not helping, you know, and then Jimmy would come in, like, every other day for, like, an hour, you know, to check in on me because he's doing other stuff. You know, I'm just the guy in the cage over here. He'll come back to me in a minute. And so he'd come by, he'd get the shots, he'd leave. Sometimes he'd have a note from the director over the phone. That would really piss me off. This is a note I got from the director, from Jimmy, when I'm receiving some cash. He said, Jimmy said, can you say to the camera how thankful you are that now you can pay back your student loans?
Oh my fucking... Oh my god, like, this is genuinely one of the craziest videos I've ever watched in my entire life. Like, I'm sorry if I'm not, like, over the top as I normally am. Like, this is genuinely, like, my first time watching this, and it's one of the most shocking things I've ever watched. After literally torturing someone, can you say to the camera you're so grateful that you'll finally be able to pay off your student loan? Okay, at a certain stage, people have to wake up to the fact that Mr. Beast is actually evil.
You know how hard it was to do a take of that? And pretend to make it genuine? I don't want to have student loans. I don't want to be in a cage. But Jimmy's the guy with the money, and if you do what he says, he'll do what you want. You want your student loans paid off? You just be in this cage. And you have power over people. When one person doesn't have resources and the other one does, and they hold it over your head, and you go, of course, yeah, I agreed to it. I needed it, of course. And just something about, like, having the cameras on me all the time. Like, I was not having a good time, but we were filming a video, so I was trying my best to be funny. You know, I'm a dark comic. You know, I got bits about. I had a very traumatic life. I have my dad is in jail for sexual assault of a minor. You know, so this kind of stuff is very near and dear to my heart. You know, I don't fuck around with this shit. You know, I have jokes about that in my act. You know, I joke about it because, you know, that's what you do in a traumatic experience. You know, abusive relationships. I get out of it. The first thing I do is I do a type fight about it. You know, so I'm in this situation where my mental health is not good. My physical health is getting worse, but we're filming. So I'm doing bits. I'm talking to the camera. And I'm being, you know, like, hey, it's been a couple days. I'm not doing so hot, you know, which if I'm filming a video, that's what I should be doing for the camera, but it was too real. If they're faking videos, why couldn't we fake this one? You know, if
I mean, that is such a great point. That's such a great point with how much has been exposed about being complete lies or complete bullshit about Mr. Beast. Why are the ones that actually torture people or put their health at risk, why do them ones have to be completely real? Seemingly a common theme here.
If we're allowed to let these cast members have some time off of this difficult challenge, how come we couldn't turn the lights off? How come we couldn't maybe not have some time-lapse footage for 10 seconds?
Did you try to get out?
Yes! I was starting to calculate, I don't know if I could do 30. How much can I, well, how can I manage to get out of here sooner and still have a video and still have some cash and get the plug, man. I did. Since we're doing time-lapse shots, and since they insisted on time-lapse shots, I said, all right, we'll give the time-lapse shots back. I put my YouTube on with the whiteboard they gave me. And I was like, all right, yeah, go ahead and scrub that footage. You know, you got that whiteboard. Oh, no, either that goes in, or this footage is unusable. And then, you know, James Warden came in and erased it, you know. Like, yeah, don't put that, hey, we can torture him. Don't you dare let him get a plug in there, you know. But like we were playing up the joke, you know, it's like I'm the boy in the cage, you know, whatever. Like I'll play into a joke, whatever, it's fine. It's just something weird about when Jimmy jokes. I have jokes about my dad because I love jokes with my dad. I'll joke with my dad all the time. I guess piece of shit, I hate my dad. But I have friends that make fun of my dad. That's fine because I know their intent, I know where they're coming from. When Jimmy joked with my dad, and I started that seemed weird, I don't like it. We were doing that one of those hide and seek videos. Again, you know, at the time they were a lot realer. So I got caught, and when you get caught, you know, you go to the place where you get caught. And I don't know if there's footage of this. I don't know if, you know, I definitely didn't make the final cut. But he says to me, all right, you're going to jail, you know, like your dad. And like, it's a joke. But when my friends do it, it's fine. And Jimmy just wasn't my friend. He was my boss. And that wasn't cool. And so now, I'm locked in a cage at his whim. And I have to do things to get the cash I need to live. And I got these cameras on me all the time. And I was unwell. I had editors coming up to me, saying, "You good, bud?" And I was like, "Yeah, why? You're clearly unwell." And he goes, "Well, because the footage you're sending in is haunting. Because I'm trying to be funny, but I am mentally decaying, so I'm doing bits." Someone said there is a horror cut of a video in this. And I'm saying, like, who's watching this? Like, who wants to see this? What is fun about this, the video? And so
But also, all this for the video not to come out. So, at the end of the day, who gets to enjoy this video? Only Mr. Beast and his team. Was that their intention to start with? To never post this, but just to torture Jake?
I think that made me want to, I gotta get out. I can't do another day in a year. Jimmy comes in, and I'm asleep. I don't know what time it is. I don't know, it's like 2 or 3 or whatever. He's like, "Why is he sleeping?" I don't know, because I can't sleep. And he comes in, he wakes me up. And he goes, "Ask me why I have 2 briefcases." And I'm like, why do you have 2 briefcases? And he goes, "Oh, because this one's for today, you know, and this one's for the challenge." And I go, "What's the challenge today?" He goes, You're gonna run a marathon. You're gonna do the 22.6K, whatever it is. And you're gonna do it on that treadmill over there. The first challenge I did was a Rubik's Cube, and I'm dyslexic, I'm dumb, I don't know how to do a Rubik's Cube. So your first challenge, Rubik's Cube. I was like, "Oh, I don't want to do it." I was like, "On camera, I don't want to do it." He goes, "Just do it for the thing, like you did, you know?" Like, there was an element of, oh, Jake will do what we want because he's in-house. You know, that's one of the reasons why they got me. Jake's, he's an inside guy, so he'll do whatever. We can push him a little extra hard because we know he's good. We know he's... I couldn't say no to the treadmill thing. Yeah. So people who run marathons train forever, and it's still hard. Again, writer. Do I look like I run? I don't run, you know? Let alone a marathon, let alone have training for it. So I was in a sunlightless, you know...
Did you try to say no? Like, did you have a choice, or...?
Based on the Rubik's Cube thing and based on all the others.
But also, in that document, if it's true, doesn't it say no doesn't have to mean no? Okay, this is actual torture content. Like, having someone be so decaying physically, mentally in front of you, and you come in, instead of offering them help, you go, run a marathon on that fucking treadmill in the same room that you've been going stir crazy in. He's dangerous. Mr. Beast is dangerous. Like,
stuff like there was so much pressure to just do it, just do the thing, you know. And if I refuse, it's just, oh, that's the whole video. I guess the budget's, you know, so much money up in flames because Jake said he wouldn't want to do the thing. And so I wanted to be a good sport, and I wanted to get the boost, and I wanted the cash, and so I started running at 12. I was able to take some breaks, and I asked him, "How long do I have?" He goes, "Until I get back." Yeah, I'm running until 3 a.m. I got off the treadmill. Oh, the blisters I had on my feet were like, you wouldn't believe, just all over, just these big red. I couldn't walk. My muscles were like just the lactic acid. I got off the treadmill, and then the people that came in to like ice my feet, you know, make sure I was good. Then that's when I was like, I'm done. I'm done. I'm out. I'm out. And that's when I get psych in and talk to the psych about how I'm not well. And like I said, there was a lot of good people over there that was saying, "You got to pull him out." Yeah, I had friends that did some freelance work, and they would tell me, they'd be like, "Yeah, everyone knows you over there. Everybody loves you." They go, "Oh, Jake, well, I don't love that guy. Shame what happened to him." Like I'm a ghost. And I asked him, I said, "How much longer are you guys going to keep me in here?" And the guy goes, "Realistically, like at least 7 more days?" No. And they didn't let me leave right away either. They wanted to make sure, everything was fine. So I just, slept for a while. They turned the lights off. And they brought, it's like they brought in all my friends, to make it look. They brought in all the people I liked. And Jimmy. Then everybody was around me, making sure I was good, making sure I was okay. Yeah. But Jimmy had his, he was sitting in the chair turned around like an evil villain. Swear to God. Everyone was looking at me, and he was like Lex Luthor over there. And he turns around, he stands up. He does the exact same thing when he's pretending to have a human connection. You know when you're watching a video, and he's like, oh, stop, you're going to make me cry. And he, touches his eye or whatever as if he's crying. He's just... I didn't have to pretend to do that shit. She says, as if rehearsed by his lawyers. Your mental health's the most important thing. I just want to make sure you're okay. And the last thing we want you to do is... I can almost hear the word Sue come out of his mouth. The S. He just stopped right before I got out. I did not get the 300K. But I got. He goes, think of it this way. At least you get to keep what you earned. You were in there for XYZ days. You did XYZ challenges, so you got, 100,000 some change, give or take. You know how much money I spent in taxes in 2021? I spent $44,000 in taxes alone. And now I spent all that money on doing stand-up. I bought plane tickets to go do comedy festivals. My family back home, I gave them a bunch of stuff that they needed.
Okay, sorry, I had to let that play. This is one of the most awful things I have ever heard in my entire life. Just how disconnected MrBeast is to reality. What he has built his reality and the way he applies it to kind of treat others so badly. And then his perception online is that he's the nicest guy ever, and he's the most giving guy, and he's the most... Jake has my full support. My full support. Full support.
I haven't been back on the Beast set in any official capacity or unofficial capacity since then. And then they did the video with somebody else, and they worked out the kinks.
They redid that experience. They redid that experience, which goes to show that they don't care about learning. They ultimately just care about getting the fucking video done. They redid that experience. And by the way, like Jake said earlier, that video caused a lot of drama in the mainstream because people were calling the video very unethical. And now we know that that was a part 2.
And then I still got in some hot water, and I knew it would. And I've wanted to say a lot of this for a long, long, long time. And I feel good now. I had to get that out there.
So I just want to hop in here and show some text that Jake sent me after this interview. This is July 29, 2021, a few days after he got out of solitary. How are you feeling after a few days? Better. I still couldn't sleep, even a few days out, but I almost have my sleep cycle back on track. My legs and joints are good, but the blisters on my feet still hurt to walk on. Medical advice I got was not to lance them and just let them go away with time. I'm mentally still in an uneasy place, but I've gotten back on better help. My therapist is a little concerned, but we are working on things. Reminder, this is not supposed to be a traumatic life event. This is supposed to be a MrBeast video. Hey Jake, hope you're doing okay. Meg and I just wanted to check in on you. Hey, I'm good and I appreciate that. I'm not exactly 100%. I feel like mentally I'm still recovering a bit, but back in therapy and my therapist is concerned. Haha, but my legs and joints feel better. Like I can walk, but my feet are still covered on those blisters and those hurt to walk on. But I was told the best thing to do is stay off my feet and let them heal. I'm in Raleigh with my family. Also, it'll be like a month before I get the money, and they aren't giving me all the money. They're giving me what I won up to that point in the game, which was also a slap in the face. But hey, I'm out. I'm alive. Therapist who knows.
But hey, I'm out. I'm alive. Like he just said, this is about a MrBeast video. A MrBeast video. We have someone involved being like, I'm out and I'm alive. What is it going to take? Someone to genuinely die?
Knows and cares about you. The whole thing was so fucked, and honestly, fuck them for not giving you the money. Meg and I are wishing you the best with your recovery, and please feel free to reach out if you need anyone to talk to or need a place to crash in New York. Hope you're doing well, man. That video you uploaded is money. So good. I appreciate. I'm doing better physically. Mentally, I'm still kind of in a place. I still can't sleep. I've slept 5 hours in the past 3 days, marathon included. I don't know what's wrong with me. Lots of thinking too much, one might say. Hope they're taking care of you where they can. I mean, I was kind of shocked they didn't pay me for the full 25, 30 days. They paid me what I made up to that point. Like, even when we have to pull the plug for my mental health, the mechanism of the game is still at play. I'm just happy to be out. I still can't walk well, but it hurts less. And like, I'm not famous enough to burn a bridge. So at the end of the day, I'm still Jimmy's bitch. Like, if I was Carl and he did that to me, I'd ruin him. And they want to do it again. That could be your leverage. If the guy breaks down also, 2 is better than 1. Yeah, right. I told them everything they did to me that they can't do again in order to make sure the other person doesn't break down as fast. But like, the way the video is meant to function is the problem. It's a bad idea, full stop. It sounds clickbaity, sounds right up Jimmy's alley, but it's morally unethical, like on every level. Off-camera breaks, lights off at night, visitation, take the marathon out. Marathon is a video in itself. You can't expect someone to exert themselves like that for 45 seconds of content. The challenges really made it feel dehumanizing. Felt like a parody of Mr. Beast. I felt like the homeless guy they could exploit. It felt like if Jeff Bezos had a GIMP. It felt like if Jeff Bezos had a GIMP. Part of me wants the footage burned, and part of me thinks that there's a great horror cut in there. LMAO, he was so fake when he came in and said he cared about my mental health. They must have programmed the care about mental health updates. He said, we also don't want you to, and I swear to our Lord and Savior, he stopped himself from saying sue. Also, as far as like, he could have said no, he could have left at any.
So look at this, from 2021, what, 3 years later, story never changed. I just can't believe that, like, they redid the video. They redid the video. No joke, like, who enjoys that type of content? Like, when I click on YouTube, I see a video, it's like, forcing someone to spend 100 days in solitary confinement and we torture them. I'm like, I would love to watch that. You know what? I would really love to watch that. This is YouTube. This isn't fucking Live Leak. Remember Live Leak? This whole thing? Like, Mr. Beast will go to no ends to get entertaining content with whatever that word means, but he never wants to be the one being entertaining. He genuinely is a scarier David Dobrik. And I never thought that sentence would ever come out of my mind because you know how I feel about David Dobrik. But I think we can say that.
Anytime, I want to show the segment from an internal document at Mr. Beast called How to Succeed in Mr. Beast Production. Specifically on page 19, there's a paragraph called No does not mean no. Already insane because it seems to be co-opting.
We went through this in the Rosanna video, but in the context of everything we know, let's go through it again.
Opting the popular anti-rape slogan, which is a terrible look given.
I was about to say, an illegal fucking work document, no does not mean no. This company they need to be done.
The allegations that are going to be coming out very soon, it reads, when dealing with people outside Mr. Beast Productions, never take no at face value. If we need a store to buy everything inside of, and you can call the local Dollar Tree, and the person that answers says, no, you can't film here, that literally doesn't mean shit. Talk to others.
So unprofessionally written as well.
Better fans. Try talking to their boss's boss. Have me DM them on Twitter and try.
Because everyone loves Mr. Beast.
And you are left with
Jimmy Donaldson.
Try the other Dollar Trees because the manager of those could be huge fans and willing to bend the rules. Basically, what I'm trying to convey.
Willing to bend the rules is so fucking gross.
Stop because one person told you no. Stop when all conceivable options are exhausted. This is one of many tools that, when combined, dramatically improve your problem.
Also, at the start of this video, he was like, part 3 is going to be about, like, allegations or something. No fucking wonder when the company policy is no does not mean no.
Probability of success when producing here. So yeah, this idea of like pushing through no's is a big component to working at Mr. Beast. And the way that it manifests itself a lot of times is like a director might tell a producer, hey, we need access to 30 acres of farmland by Tuesday or we lose $500,000. Now, if you're the producer, you obviously know that means get it done or you lose your job. So what can happen is like a producer's calling up farmers saying, hey, I need to use your land. And the farmer might be like, okay, but, you know, I have animals, you can't be making really loud noises, no pyrotechnics, and you got to clean everything up. So the producer's sort of incentivized to lie and say, or maybe the producer doesn't even actually know the total contents of the video, right? Things changed last second. So they're very like they're financially incentivized to be manipulative, and sort of they're put in positions where it's like, oh, it's either the producer's job or a civilian's job, like where it talks about, hey, maybe the manager would be willing to bend the rules. Well, you shouldn't really be pressuring civilians to bend the rules. That could get them fired, you know? I'll show you a real life example. This is unused evidence from part 1. I'd seen this Reddit post titled Mr. Beast leaving trash behind and debris at film site in Aden, North Carolina. Apparently, he left a large boat in a pond as well as debris around the film site in the bottom of the pond weeks and weeks after the agreed time frame. This actually rendered it unsafe for campers and almost delayed the camp's opening date multiple times due to not being able to get in contact with Mr. Beast.
Oh, but don't worry, Mr. Beast is so great, right? He's so great.
To get the stuff cleaned up out of the area.
No, this is what he's like off camera.
This video called Protect the Yacht, Keep It. Where at the end of that video, he actually says...
If you're wondering, yes, we did ensure the lake was completely cleaned up after this video. For the love of God, subscribe so we can pass TV series.
He's just so fucking fake.
Yes, so he says at the end of the video that they made sure it was cleaned up. I was actually on site for part of this production. I was at this camp. So I decided to send an email out to the camp, basically saying, hey, I heard these rumors. I'm investigating similar incidents. And the camp responded, actually not denying the claims, going on to say, I am sure that there are no perfect film productions, just as there are no perfect people. I am grateful for the opportunity that we had to host the production crew, and because grace, or forgiveness, has been offered to me so freely, I will choose to offer the same. So clearly alluding to the fact that there was a wrongdoing by Mr. Beast's production team. And that's like sort of the thing is...
But they're able to get away with it because it's Mr. Beast's production team. Fucking bullshit.
If you're around...
I hope there's change that comes from all this.
And it being extremely
there needs to be.
Doing what they say. But they sort of get by a lot on their good public image. And like, I mean, this camp offered to host them completely for free. And I guarantee, like, if you went to the lake at the camp and you went magnet fishing, like, you'd find all sorts of debris that's still there to this day. Like, they didn't clean it all up. So in the case of Jake Weddle, like, I'm sure that there were producers who were in a position of, hey, if Jake gets out early, we don't have a video, and your job is at risk. So there's a tremendous amount of pressure on top of, like, him being delirious from not sleeping and everything to just manipulate him into staying. Which, you know, I'm sure this isn't, like, technically against the Geneva Convention on torture because he wasn't technically a prisoner. Like, he could have left at any time, but because of the extreme pressure to stay in, it's not really a reasonable expectation that he could have just, you know, walked out.
Because of the implication.
I think Jimmy is a awkward kid who maybe, yeah, had it a little rough growing up. I can't speak on that, but I do have empathy for it. Because I had it rough growing up, and I think when you're hyper fixated on something, like I love stand-up, he loves YouTube, everyone, fixate on a thing, I think he just wanted to be the best YouTuber so bad, and because the industry's metrics, rewarded some not great behavior, if you're just going on autopilot based on what the numbers say, you can do some things that maybe...
And again, is he going to continue to go on autopilot until someone dies or sues or something?
But reward. And I think Jimmy just did what the industry and maybe what the system that we have set up demanded. And he didn't care who got hurt. And I think Jimmy surrounded himself with really, really not so great people, and those people were the ones making the decisions. And I want to say, really important, there are so many good people that work in Mr. Beast who are damn good at their jobs. Like, when Jimmy comes in and asks for something impossible, it's these people's jobs to do it. And they shouldn't be able to make it happen, and they do. And so, I don't think people wanted to talk about stuff because I didn't want my friends to lose their jobs. I don't care about my fucking job. I don't care. But I don't want my friends to lose their jobs. I don't want anyone's reputation to be fucked. But let's just go back to my dad for a second, if I may. My dad was like a swim coach, your neighborhood swim team. Everybody loved him. Everybody loved him. Behind closed doors, he's a real piece of shit. And so when stuff starts hitting the fan, what? Him? No, surely. And then everyone thought my mom was the bitch for not But then the news broke, that he did what he did to one of the students of the team. And it's like when that comes out, you're not surprised, You just go. When I saw my dad in the news, I said, "Oh, you idiots!" Like I was like, "No," I was, "Oh, dumbass, god damn it!" But I wasn't surprised, and it was just a consequence happening to somebody who was really good at avoiding them for a long time. And I don't know, everybody loves Jimmy, and behind closed doors, he is not super great, and that image is cultivated purposefully and intentionally, and it's branding.
I think that's a good point as well. The people that are willing to defend Jimmy Donaldson need to realize that he has manipulated you so well. The more you're defending him, the more easily manipulated you were, that he made you think of him as a certain way. And that shows that you're a dumbass.
It's marketing. It's YouTube.
Okay, so I guess, yeah, just one final question on a serious note. Obviously, the Ava Chris Tyson drama, and, you know, that's a known issue of traditional media. Did you witness or
Not the zoom in on the police. Sorry.
hear about any sexual misconduct at the company?
It's crazy. I probably hung out with Ava the most out of the main cast just because I was on Beast Hacks. Now Beast Reacts. I don't know if it's still out. That was a lot of fun because it was just, you know, being silly and goofy in front of the camera. And Ava was the only person who was willing to film. Everybody else was too busy or didn't want to, and I was just trying to do my job. Sometimes there'd be like an offhanded joke that's a little gross. I mean, I'm a stand-up, so I'm very desensitized to that. I didn't hear anything that was like, whoa, that's crazy. Like when I saw, the reason I messaged you instead of talking to reporters sweetly like I have been was when I saw the Discord stuff. Because when I got there, it was like 2019, so I guess if the timelines add up, that would have been like handled, for lack of a better term, and then they started bringing more people on. You know, maybe they thought they had that under the rug. You know, all right, we handled that. Now let's bring in some writers. You know, and when I saw it, all that stuff start coming out, and the potentiality as of this moment of recording. You know, I know this has been happening fast and stuff has been coming out so fast. Just the potential that Jimmy could have been in those Discord chats, or even the potential that he participated in those Discord chats. After the shit he did to me, and if you're gonna make fun of my dad, I don't care what happens to me and my career and reputation after this. I had to say some stuff. So whatever happens at this point.
Outside of it, Chris Tyson, did you notice any or hear about any sexual misconduct at the company?
I've heard rumors. I can't confirm or deny anything. I don't have any tangible evidence, but I've heard stuff that if it could be investigated, that'd be great. But it's like water cooler talk. But I've heard things, yes, of course. I heard, you know, people have been let go for sexually assaulting some very young people. The idea that Jimmy didn't know, or that Jimmy was covering stuff up. He didn't want stuff to come out. You know, he's very careful about his image. You know, the tangible proof that he knew but covered it up. You know, how do you prove that, you know? Well, there was a known sex offender, registered sex offender, convicted sex offender on the registry and everything who worked there. And like you can, you know, someone pees in public, you're on the registry, you know, you get it. You can still have a job after you're on the, that's one thing. You know, you go to prison, you get rehabilitated, that's one thing. You know, if you do your time, that's fine. I think there should be rehabilitation in this country. But that guy, from what I hear, I can't confirm or deny it, from what I hear, he's on the registry for doing some not great stuff to some underage people. And they knew that. He's working at a channel that has underage people on and around and is targeted to underage people. And they covered up the fact that not only did he work there, but he was like the manager when it all started. And you know that he knew, and because he'll be in videos, he'll be in thumbnails, he'll be around. And whenever he is, he's wearing a mask. Why would you wear a mask? Why would you conceal your face? It's like, what are you concealing? That you are a registered sex offender? And that your face could be looked up on a thing? How much more can you literally cover up a sex offender with a physical mask? Like, do I have to, is it more on the nose? Or I don't know why they let him go, because there's rumors back and forth. You know, so I don't know why they let him go, but he did leave at one point. Even if that guy didn't do anything, they still knew about it and he was still around. And what if he's one of the people in the Discord servers? What if he's not? I don't know. But when I was...
Oh my god, I'm struggling to comment on this video. There was a registered sex offender working on Mr. Beast, the channel that will feature children, is catered towards children. How many times Mr. Beast said that he's aware the channel's catered towards like edgy, mean kids, edgy, mean teens? The fuck is wrong with this entire empire? Everything. And it's so ironic So ironic how much he gets praised. There's like so much going on in my head, and I'm like, I don't know how to verbalize any of it. Like, what the... This video is almost done. This has been so much to process.
They called him Delaware. He's like, why do you call him Delaware? And I didn't know. Apparently, they called him Delaware because he's not allowed to go back to Delaware. That's his nickname?
So it would be joked about?
Yes, Delaware. Don't ask him why. Yeah. The fuck? Did Jimmy know about it? The likelihood that he didn't know is astronomically low.
Okay, so finally I have a recorded phone conversation. The person on the other end of this line is a different former Mr. Beast employee talking about Delaware. Also, apparently before this phone conversation got recorded, the person on the other end of the line said that the Mr. Beast team was actually trying to expunge Delaware's record off the registry, and that's what actually like sparked this person to start recording.
I just don't understand how it's normal in this workplace environment. Well, I mean, if you have no doesn't mean no in your fucking work form, then obviously, like, someone can be nicknamed after something as deep as being, like, banned or not allowed to go back to a state because you're on the fucking registry. Sorry, I know this is like really serious, obviously. I know there's an effect on the voice, which is making it very hard to, you know, hear or understand. So thank God there's, you know, titles on the screen. You know what it sounds like? Like someone who's been smoking for like 100 years. You know, like in those like anti-smoking ads where they're like, don't smoke. Sorry. I wish I didn't like think that, because like now all I can think about is like that there isn't an effect on this, and it's just like that one's back. I like it. And if you really don't do anything in the affidavits and such scenarios, some people react very quickly because those people are going to go back.
Okay, so Reed is Mr. Beast's former manager who was in the last video telling Jimmy, you know, hey, don't promote gambling to children. So, you know, I think Reed's taken 2 W's this month. You know, don't promote gambling to children and don't have offenders on payroll. Also, yeah, just from where I'm sitting, it seems extremely unlikely that Jimmy wouldn't know. But, you know, I know that I'm sure that's the defense he'll go with. So I'll just say preemptively, like, you know, if somehow Jimmy didn't know about Delaware, I think it's still such an extreme level of negligence. Like, what, you're not doing background.
That's what I'm going to say. I don't know what is the defense that if you're saying that Jimmy didn't know about it, then you hired without doing a background check? And if you did know, then you hired a registered offender?
Checks.
What's better and what's worse? You choose.
I think that needs more of an explanation than just saying, I didn't know. Well, how didn't you know? How did this person get into the company?
There's no way out of it.
Makes content for children and is around children. So yeah, Jimmy, I think we need an explanation from you, or you know, your lawyers and PR people and representatives and spokespersons, and on how you could have not known that there was an offender at a high level in your company. And while you're responding to that, why not just respond to the allegations of rigging contest videos and selling fake signatures, running illegal lotteries, you know, the dangerous conditions on the set of Beast games. You should address those too. So yeah, just let us know. Okay, that was my interview with former Mr. Beast employee Jake Weddle. I know he will be coming out with a longer cut of this interview as well as other content. So I just wanted to shout him out. Jake Weddle, top link in the description.
I've waited a long time to talk about a lot of this publicly, so thank you for doing what you're doing.
Oh my God. Jesus Christ. Sorry, I'm literally about to cry and I just saw my background and it scared the shit out of me. Oh my God. There needs to be change that happens from this. I'm like, we can't. First of all, that was one of the most incredible videos I've ever watched and one of the most intense. I will link Jake Weddle down below and also this video. Please go support both. We are at the stage where things need to be done now. Like, there needs to be statements from the social media. There needs to be statements from Mr. Beast. We need to have some sort of your acknowledgement. And there needs to soon be a conversation of, if he's not going to be responsible and hire people to properly make sure these are safe situations, then maybe he needs to not have a platform. And you know I don't call for deplatforming. But if someone is proving to use the talent so much that they're driven to insanity, then maybe you shouldn't be the person to be in control of that. This was a heavy video. And I'm so glad I watched it. And I think after this video, I'm going to go and rewatch it. Like, literally, I think I'm going to go and rewatch it again after I finish this. 'Cause I need to reprocess that again. It was incredibly made. Jake, huge props. I'm so glad you're able to speak out, finally. I'm so sorry for what you've gone through. It's intense. It's intense. I'm gonna leave it here. I will see you all in my next one. I hope you're all doing very well, and goodbye.